This is kind of a layout you might want to do in a pantry or maybe a utility closet where you're keeping your sheets and things in the bathroom. But I just wanted to show you how if you stagger these, it's much better than trying to butt them up exactly, because then you can't get into the stud here. The stud is where all your strength's at. So if you stagger them, you know, you can get Jello or green beans or whatever. Another thing I wanted to show you is that I used a piece of birch veneer, and then so you see the veneer part, and you can cover it up with trim. It's a beautiful thing. So you can really make a nice looking pantry instead of having wire shelves. It just makes for a much nicer shelf. Put a lip on it. You can raise that up. You can put a bigger one. You can hide your brackets if you want with a little bit bigger one. So you can really dress up something nice. You can get your boards at pine, number 2 pine. You know, again, we talked about it. You can get a 1 foot by 3/4. You can also buy a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and most of your box stores have a rip saw, and you can rip them in 4-foot sections. I don't think they can do it 8-wise. It's not that tall, but you can have them rip your boards for you to where you have your 12 inches, and then you can come home and cut them to the length, which is your standard circular saw. But if not, then you need a longer piece. What I would recommend is that you use plywood, because it's not going to cup. Shorter boards like this is not a problem. This comes in our kit. This is a tongue and groove board, and this won't cup either. So this is what comes in our kit. When you're buying a 34-inch or a 50-inch shelf kit, these are the boards you'll get. The cheapest method is buying like a standard plywood or something if you're going to be out in the garage. I'm going to show you a feature. If you have a long run or you're going to be out in the garage using it for utilities, you might need some extra strength. For the long run, your board may want to curve. So there's features on these brackets where you attach another board, and so now you're screwing a T to it. For your longer runs or for heavier stuff, you're going to put a bunch of paint cans on it. Strength-wise, it's as strong as the screws or as strong as your mount. So because there's a different pressure if I put a can of paint here or if I put a can of paint on the edge. You got different pressures. So it's very hard to say it'll hold up to this. It'll hold more than you need to hold in a closet, I can tell you that, or a pantry. Out in the garage, at one time I'd set a 5-gallon can of diesel fuel right over top of the bracket, and it's held up fine. But my support underneath was a 2x4, and it has the settings to match for that. So it was a really, really heavy-duty shelf. Might want to use a longer screw, because when that screw comes out, that's your failure. The plastic doesn't break. But this is how you might want to stagger your pantries. Anyway, there you go.